Then we which are alive shall be caught up together to meet them in the clouds, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. How did he go? He went in a cloud, and he's coming back. So what happened? You know, and for people that don't believe these truths, Enoch was translated that he should not see death. Now this is through faith, Enoch, before the flood. And this is in Hebrews, of course. This is God's Hall of Fame, people that live by faith. He says in Hebrews 11, verse 5, "For by faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because God had translated him. For before his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased God." He pleased God for 300 years. He lived to be 365 years old. He went to heaven before the flood came, just like we believers are going to be taken before the 7-year tribulation period comes. And if I don't get through this all this time, I will give you these truths, and you will never doubt that you're going to be raptured. And you're going to get the Bible verses on these, because this is what's important. Elijah went to heaven in a chariot of fire. That is the angelic host. It tells us that this was the angels carrying him into heaven. Now he went to heaven, and this is a picture of those of us that are going to be raptured to be with the Lord, and we're not going to die. Moses, when he died, and they were both transfigured with Christ on the Mount of Transfiguration, God buried Moses. Elijah was on the Mount of Transfiguration with Christ, showing us that those that went to heaven without dying, we are going to be with Christ. And then Moses, he was the one that Moses was there, and Moses was the one that God buried him. And here they were with Jesus, and Jesus' body. When he was on the earth, Peter, James, and John saw him. His body was as bright as the noonday sun. Now for those that don't believe this, God shows you this in the book of Revelation. And I will show this again, because this is one of the greatest truths for people that doubt God's word. In Revelation chapter 11, there were 2 prophets that God kept on the earth to be a witness and a testimony for him. So the Antichrist kills these 2 prophets. And it says in verse 7, "And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast ascended out of the bottomless pit," that is Satan's abode, "and shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. They laid in the streets of Jerusalem for 3.5 days, and they would not allow anyone to bury them. And they sent gifts to one another and rejoiced because these 2 prophets had died." They were blaming the prophets for all the things that had happened to them during the 7-year tribulation period. And this is almost hell on earth. This is why you must be born again today, so you will be saved from that. And then after 3.5 days, and the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood up on their feet. Now this is in Jerusalem. The whole world sees this, and great fear fell upon them all. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying, "Come up hither." And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. This is for every person that doubts what God is going to do. You can't doubt God's word and receive any good thing, because he cannot lie. This is the living word. Paul said, for me to live is Christ and to die is gain. As I study these truths about this wonderful message of what's going to happen to every true believer, we can know that God is in complete control, and every word that he teaches us is for our glory and peace that passes all understanding. This is the greatest story that's ever been told. When Jesus Christ came to earth as a baby, thanks be unto God for his unspeakable gift. He was on this earth for 33 years. He went to the cross to die for us, stayed on the earth for 40 days, ascended up into heaven in a Shekinah glory cloud, and he says he's coming back the same way to take us out of this evil world. You right now can know this perfect peace, and your family has to know this so they know what's going to happen to you, that they can have peace knowing where you are.
Bring your friends in one by one to the place of way I still to the truth.